Welcome back, guys, to the Fight Breakdown. Today, we're going to be looking at UFC 314 in Miami this weekend on Saturday. So, the first fight we got, Nora Cornell versus Haley Cohen. Now, Haley Cohen, guys, she's a very injury-prone girl, and let's be honest, she slipped into the UFC. She got in by the Contender Series only because that they needed a roster spot. Let's be honest, guys, there's not many girl fighters in the UFC, and this girl's just a little roster spot. Nora Cornell, on the other hand, she has a beautiful finish over Melissa Malens, I believe. And yeah, so she's pretty good, guys. She's got some KO power there. And Haley Cohen, she's injured a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, Nora Cornell, she lost her last fight, but it was a close decision. And it was versus a high-level opponent. So I just don't see where this fight is close here. Haley Cohen, she's out too much. She's not active. And when you're not very talented and you're not active, you're going to lose the next fight that you fight. So I got Nora Cornell by finish, probably. Next up, we got Trishan Gore versus Marco Tulio. Now, guys, Trishan Gore, his road to the UFC, it's been a bit iffy. We saw him lose to Cody Brundage. We saw him lose to Brian Battle. But he's riding 2 wins off a guillotine. Guillotine in both fights. Pretty good. Then you got Marco Tulio. I like this guy in the Contender Series. He has pretty good striking. Do I believe his ground is there? Possibly, but we just haven't seen enough from him. He has one submission in his whole career, and it was over a guy with his name backwards, Tulio Marcos. Uh, but yeah, that's all I have for him. But I do believe he is the better fighter than Trishan Gore. Trishan Gore, he just hasn't looked the best, in my opinion, in his fights. Very, very, again, iffy. Marco Tulio, I feel like he's going to be riding a wave of confidence coming into this fight. And I do see him finishing Trishan Gore. I mean, Trishan Gore has been finished by TKO already. And I do think it could happen in this fight. But at the same time, Marco Tulio, when he shoots for the takedown, sometimes he tends to, he does leave his neck a bit untucked. So we could see a submission from Trishan Gore. I just don't see it coming to that. I don't see Marco Tulio being desperate in that situation. I think he's going to want to keep it on the feet. And I don't see Trishan Gore pulling guard on him or anything. So yeah, I got Marco Tulio. All right, guys. Now we got Sumadeji versus Mitch Raposo. Now, guys, Sumadeji is just too big for Mitch Raposo, in my opinion. I understand Mitch Raposo. In the judges' books, he had a close fight with Andre Lima. But, guys, Lima clearly won that fight. There was no time where I was thinking Mitch Raposo can win this. No. Mitch Raposo, don't be fooled by his 9-2 record. Don't get me wrong. This guy, he has some talent to him, but he's not big enough in this fight. I just don't think he's big enough. Sumderji just has such a reach over this guy and is just a longer opponent. I think he's going to keep his distance, maybe hit him with a few kicks, leg kicks, and, he's going to ride a decision similar to like what we saw between Lerone Murphy and Josh Emmett last week. It's a boring fight, but that's what it's going to have to be if Sumderji wants to win this fight. If it gets to a scrap, I do believe Mitch Raposo does have some power to him. I believe he does have some skill to him if he's in the pocket. But Sumderji, at distance, will win this fight. So that's my take. All right, guys. Now we got Cedric Dumas versus Michel Olajaychik. I hope I got his name right. But guys, I got Michel Olajaychik. Cedric Dumas, don't get me wrong. This guy, he's tall, whatever. Doesn't mean anything here, guys. If Michel Olajaychik could literally knock down Kevin Holland, don't get me wrong, he's gotten knocked down before. But I'm just saying, guys, he knocked him down and he almost beat Kevin Holland. Then he got submitted, obviously. But guys, Cedric Dumas does not have the groundwork to beat Michel Olajaychik. Well, Michel Olajaychik will literally just pound this guy, like not on the ground, but on the feet, guys. Michel Olajaychik has only lost really to high-level opponents. Like if we look at it, like lately, as of late, he lost to Kyle Barallo, he lost to Shara Magomedov, Kevin Holland, and Michel Pereira. He's lost to them. You think he's going to lose to a bum like this? He almost beat Kevin Holland. You think he won't almost beat Cedricus? He will definitely beat Cedricus. He won't almost beat him. He'll dominantly beat this guy. No matter what height this guy is. Kevin Holland's taller than this guy, and he was able to land a strike. You think that Cedricus is going to stop this? No. Give me Michel Olajaychik by KO. Darren Elkins versus Julian Erosa. Now, this is not a fight that I'm very excited for because Julian Erosa gets me very mad when he fights because he decides to beat all the prospects then decides to have a war with every bad fighter. And he always loses. He always loses. All his wins are versus like great fighters, and all his losses are versus horrible fighters. This guy does not make sense. All right, don't get me wrong. He's 14-0 on the ground with submissions. Don't get me wrong. This guy has a great BJJ game, but seriously, he cannot win versus good fighters. And I'm gonna take this guy not confidently, unconfidently to beat Darren Elkins here because he should. He should dominantly beat Darren Elkins. Darren Elkins is 40 years old and Julian Erosa is 35. That's a 5-year difference, yeah, but it means a lot when you're aging up to 40. You know what I mean, guys? And Julian Erosa, if he somehow loses this fight, I will never watch his fights ever again. I'm lying, but still, I will never watch his fights ever again. I'm going to take Julian Erosa by TKO, because Darren Elkins actually has some good ground game too. But I'll almost likely see a decision, but TKO, let's go TKO. And note to self, don't bet on this fight. No, no. All right, guys. Now we got Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper. Now, this is a fight where I love both fighters because Chase Hooper, he's young and he's making a comeback for his career, which is very good. He didn't let all the losses destroy him. He like took a year, a few months, I can't remember, but he took time off. He recuperated, he learned, he got better, and he came back to the UFC and he's on a very good win streak right now. Then he's fighting Jim Miller. Jim Miller, a legend of the UFC. We love him, but I just think it's going to be a fight of the old versus new, and I think the old will always lose. All right, on this card, there's a lot of old versus new, and I got Chase Hooper in this fight. Do I think he'll submit Jim Miller? He could, but I don't think so. I mean, Jim Miller has very good ground game, in my opinion, and I do believe he still has a bit of dad strength. Then you got Chase Hooper. I do think Chase Hooper could TKO Jim Miller. It is possible, in my opinion. It is possible. But I would ride more of a Chase Hooper decision. Chase Hooper, give him the decision. It doesn't hurt us to watch Jim Miller get killed because we don't want to see him get killed. I'll give Chase Hooper a dominant decision. Chase Hooper, dominant decision. That's what I'm feeling. All right, guys. Now we got Yan Jonan versus Verna Jandaroba. Now, Verna Jandaroba has some serious ground. I mean, honest, she's very annoying with grappling. Don't get me wrong. She sometimes has the ability of just holding the person and doing nothing with it. But when she does something with it, she's really dangerous. Yan Jonan, she'll have the advantage on the feet. But Yan Jonan always gives up the takedown. I mean, you saw it versus Zhang Weili. She always gave up the takedown. She had her moments versus Zhang Weili, but she still got dominated. It was a 50-45, 49-46, whatever you want to look at it. Yan Jonan, she has a lot of wins over the people in this division. But Verna Jandaroba is not like everyone in this division. Don't get me wrong, she'll get 50-45 by Zhang Weili, no matter what. I do believe that. Zhang Weili's just that girl right now. But Yan Jonan, if it stays on the feet, Yan Jonan could win this. I just don't think it will stay on the feet. Verna Jandaroba has shown how desperate she is for that takedown, and she'll get it. If she wants the takedown, she'll get the takedown. So I don't see Yan Jonan even stopping that because she always lets the girls get the takedown, especially when she's fighting at a high level. Versus the low levels, it could have cut it. But versus these girls, she gets taken down. And I just don't see her winning versus this girl. It could happen. I just don't see it. All right, guys. Now you got Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. Now, guys, I'm going to go Sean Woodson for like 2 reasons. This guy's 6'2", and his range style boxing is pretty good. Like, he's really good at keeping that guy at bay. And Dan Ige, obviously, he has blitzes when he fights. He blitzes in, goes for the big hook, whatever. But Dan Ige hasn't really looked good in his past fights. Don't get me wrong, they were versus high-level competition in Lerone Murphy and Diego Lopes. He had a close fight with Diego Lopes on short notice. He had a semi-close fight with Lerone Murphy, but if we're being honest, he didn't look good. He didn't look like he could really, have a chance of winning in that fight. He never looked into that fight. He just made it a bit close. That's all. Like, he gave the little enough, but he never looked great. So I just don't see Dan Ige beating Sean Woodson in this fight, where Sean Woodson has such an advantage over him. And it's annoying when you're a smaller fighter in that ring and you're facing a guy that's not meant to be in your division. You're 6'2" in featherweight. So yeah, I got Sean Woodson. I got Sean Woodson. All right, guys, we got Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. Now, guys, I got Nikita Krylov. Guys, I'm getting Krylov versus Gustafsson 2 vibes. This is going to be the second version of that fight. And Nikita Krylov, he's just going to knock out Dominic Reyes. That's what I'm feeling. He does have the power to do it. Reyes is the more skilled fighter, if we're looking at it. Much higher level fighter, in my opinion. But Krylov just has that power. He has that chin. Dominic Reyes doesn't have that chin. He has that power, but doesn't have that chin. He cannot get in the pocket with Nikita Krylov. If he gets struck, he'll be knocked out. There's no chance that he won't be. I'm gonna be honest, guys. So, like, Dominic Reyes, he really has to make it a clean fight if he wants to beat Nikita Krylov, because Nikita Krylov has the power to put him out. Dominic Reyes, more skill, just doesn't have the chin anymore. He's on a 2-fight win streak. I hope it goes to 3, but I doubt it will. All right, guys. So we talked about Elkins and Erosa. This is a fight where I'm unsure. I'm really unsure. I'm going to be honest here. I am unsure if I'm picking the winner. I'm really unsure in this fight. You got Yair Rodriguez, that is a seriously much better striker than Patricio Pitbull. Then you got Pitbull, who's 38 now. We're not going to talk about his age, but he has serious wrestling. Yair Rodriguez, what is his kryptonite in the UFC lately? Wrestling. This guy has no wrestling. I don't understand. How do you not improve it over time? Like, you've been in the UFC for a while now. You took a break for a while. You can't, I don't know, get better? Get better at wrestling? You're going to place Patricio Pitbull. If you're not practicing sprawls or some form of takedown defense at camp, I don't know what this guy's doing, and he will get dominated by Patricio Pitbull. But Patricio Pitbull, he's lost to people that you should not lose to if you're going to the UFC. If you're really a high-level fighter, why are you losing to these people? He fought at Bellator. You could look up his record. You'll see who he lost to. Especially recently. Guys, don't expect this guy to be Yair Rodriguez. If he does, you proved me wrong. Wrestling really beats Yair Rodriguez. But guys, I think Yair Rodriguez is the younger fighter in this fight. And I do think he is the better fighter. He's the much more skilled fighter. Patricio Pitbull has fought in Bellator his whole career. He hasn't fought versus the elite of the elite. And when he has, he's lost. He's lost. So give me Yair Rodriguez. Give me Yair Rodriguez. Maybe not finish, but I could see a finish. I could definitely see a finish. Especially over an aging Patricio Pitbull, I could definitely see a finish. And I swear, if Yair Rodriguez loses by getting held for 3 rounds, wow. Wow. That is a horrible look for the UFC, by the way. It is a horrible look. If this is the guy that's either just outside of the top 5 or in the top 5, and he gets beat by an old Bellator champion. No, in this prime, he was pretty good. Yeah. But an old Bellator champion, that doesn't look good for you. That doesn't look good for you. Patricio Pitbull hasn't even really won it. Like, I think he won 2 of his last 5 fights or something like that. Yeah, not a good look. So, whatever. If Yair loses, bad look, but the UFC is a different deal, and I don't think no Bellator guy is going to come here and beat Yair Rodriguez like that. Guys, listen, we got Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva. Gene Silva, I'm a big fan of the Fighting Words. No, you're wrong. I will always pick them normally. It's just, I feel like they're making Bryce Mitchell too much of an underdog here to not take him at this point. I mean, Bryce Mitchell has some of the best grappling in the UFC. Like, and that's not a false claim. He does. He does. Then you got Gene Silva. I saw some sparring footage actually recently. This guy kept on getting taken down. Then I looked at his fight versus Jourdain. We know he finished Jourdain. Jourdain's not a very good grappler. All right. He's not the best grappler in the world. That's what I mean. All right. He's not the best grappler in the world. He was fighting as a smaller featherweight. Now he's a bantamweight fighter. Guys, he was able to take down Gene Silva continuously up until the finish. What do you think Bryce Mitchell's going to do? If Bryce Mitchell comes to this fight and he is, locked in, he's okay, and he knows the game plan, and he doesn't strike with Gene Silva, this could be game over for Gene Silva. In this fight, guys, I could see Bryce Mitchell putting Gene Silva out on the ground with a nasty submission. I just could see it. Gene Silva is not high level on the ground. We know that. We've seen that. Bryce Mitchell is killer on the ground. This guy's got a twister in the UFC. And if you ever seen this one video, I saw it like maybe a couple months ago. He was teaching his class or something how to get a twister off the back, but like the way he did it was just insane. The setup. This guy's a smart grappler and he's a farmer. So no matter what controversy Bryce Mitchell was involved in, it will not dictate how I judge him in this fight. Because you can't let that get in the way here. I do think Bryce Mitchell will win. Do I support what he says? No, but I do think he will win. He definitely has a higher chance than being a plus 270. Like seriously, this is a closer fight than people think. And I think Bryce Mitchell has the chance to win here as long as he knows the game plan. That's what it is. All right, guys, we got Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. Now, here's my take on this fight. Yeah, Michael Chandler is going to lose. He's going to somehow lose, guys. He's going to somehow lose. There's no doubt about it, guys. This guy has fought such high-level competition. He's come so close, but he always loses. Then you got Paddy Pimblett. He's kind of like Drix Duplessis when you think about it. Like early on in his career, you were watching him fight and you're thinking, okay, this is the fight he's going to lose. Okay, this is the fight he's going to lose. Okay, this is the fight he's going to lose. All the way until he became champion. And I think that's the case for Paddy Pimblett right now. I think this is the fight that they're thinking Paddy Pimblett's going to lose. But somehow he's going to win. Like somehow Michael Chandler is going to mess up so bad that he's going to lose to Paddy Pimblett. And I know you're thinking, you're like, oh, no. Paddy Pimblett, he almost lost before. He should have lost back then. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happened back then. You're looking at Paddy Pimblett versus Michael Chandler right now. Michael Chandler coming off, I don't know, a record number of losses. And then you got him versus Paddy Pimblett, who somehow always figures out how to win. He hasn't fought the highest level competition. Don't get me wrong, he's not coming off like a solid opponent. It was like, what, King Green? Yeah, King Green, Tony Ferguson, bums. But that's what you got to do when you're young. You got to build it up. And I think he'll beat Michael Chandler somehow. Don't ask me how. He just will. He will. He will. I'm not betting on that fight, by the way. No chance. Too random. It's like this guy's at that level. This guy's at that level. But somehow this guy that is at this level, which is Paddy Pimblett, is somehow going to just beat him. Yeah, I don't know. But like that's what I feel. Now you got the fight you've all been probably waiting for. Alex Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. Now, in my opinion, this is not the main event. Gene Silva versus Bryce Mitchell is the main event. Like, just the build up to that fight's crazy. These guys, they love each other, so whatever. But Alex Volkanovski, he's coming back for that title, and I don't trust him to win this fight. I sadly don't. I mean, I think the stat is people that are 35 and older, when they come to win fight for the title, of active fighters, they're 0-14 as of late. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Then you got Diego Lopes. He's riding a lot of good wins. This guy, he's pretty good. Do I think if he faces Movsar again, he could win? I actually think he does have a chance. Like, a lot of people doubt him. I think he has the chance. I'm a bit sick of Movsar. He's very boring. But, yeah. Alex Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. Early on, it's going to be very hard for Alex. I'm going to be honest. Alex, if he doesn't have that chin, no, he doesn't have a chin. He doesn't have a chin. You can't recover a chin. Sorry, you can't recover a chin. Okay? You can't recover a chin. I think Alex Volkanovski will get knocked out, sadly. But if he does make it to the later rounds, Diego Lopes does not have the gas tank for him, and Diego Lopes will lose. He will lose if it goes to the later rounds. But that's if it goes to the later rounds. Diego Lopes, he cracks people that have chins. Imagine versus a guy that doesn't have a chin anymore. What do you think Diego Lopes is going to do? This guy's young, and we kind of need him to win because this division has to constantly move on, guys. That's how the fight game works. It constantly evolves, and we move on. we move on. We have to learn how to move on from Alex. Alex is clearly taking a step in moving on from the sport with his little cooking shows. And that's why I think this fight's going to decide. It's going to decide if we're moving on from Alex Volkanovski. And I think we sadly are. Plain and simple. That's what we're doing. We're moving on from Alex Volkanovski. Volkanovski officially. He's going to be 0-3 in his last three fights. And it makes me sad, but seriously, Alex is done. Alex is done. That's my case. I think Diego Lopes is just gonna knock him out, and then they're gonna hug it out after. Now, guys, that's the breakdown. All right. Do not use this as a betting guide. I will be posting a betting guide probably Thursday. So, guys, stay tuned because we have a lot to discuss, and there's a lot of stuff that are going to be happening this week, and I just can't wait to cover it. So, I'll see you guys in the next one, probably Thursday.